What's up, you guys? Today we are back and we are doing a Toca video, though we're not in Toca, at least for the moment. No, this video we're going to be discussing what I think it'd be cool to see in Home Designer. I asked if y'all wanted me to do this kind of video in the comments on the Home Designer review, and a few of y'all seemed interested, so here it is. Here we go. So to start, now, I will actually say that this isn't going to be anything too crazy. Of course, we can see that they are adding in new furniture, new locations, things like that. So obviously, I'm not going to point that out. But to start with, and yes, I am using Procreate to explain this. This is the app that I use to do all my artwork, to make my thumbnails, to do things like that. Back when I did Toca edits, this is what I used. If you want information on this app, let me know. I'll do videos on it. But the first thing I'm going to start with is right here. This is what the menu is when you're building a place. And you see there's more stuff in the making, so I'm not going to go crazy with that. But I want to see a button. I'm going to change what brush I'm using for this now. Now that I think about it, let's just modify this some. There we go. That'll have to work for now. But I want to see like a button. Oh, why is this a hidden layer? Oh, sorry, I know what I'm doing. I want to see a button, like right here. This is going to be poorly drawn because that's how we're doing it. I'm going to add a new layer so I can do that properly, because I'm not trying to do anything overly great. But I think this button would probably have some sort of like paintbrush situation on it. That's a really poor paintbrush. But I want to see that. And it'll be listed under the building. And then that would take you to a new screen. And because this screen doesn't exist, we're just here on this blank screen. But on this screen, you'd get to kind of customize the house to a certain degree. So that house is just kind of a basic square house. And I'm just drawing random stuff now because I didn't remember what it looked like. But just so y'all see the concept. Basic house. Let me close that up. And this. So now I want there to be like a menu down here. Kind of like where we'd have people. But instead of people, we could have like different shapes. Like the sides of a house. Roofs. Maybe there's like a sign right here that would change it, you know? So like right here would be sides of the house. But then if I tapped the sign, I'd get the roofs. Because then, maybe patterns or something like that. Because I want to be able, nothing crazy, but I want to be able to like add just a little thing off to the side like that. Maybe just on one side from my house. And change the roof to like an arch, you know? And I want to make the roof red. And I want to make the main part of my house black. And I want a green That's a very interestingly designed house. But I'm just trying to say that I want those options. And it doesn't have to be solid colors. There doesn't have to be a bunch of options. They could just give me like some wood paneling as an option, or some bricks as an option for me to place right here, like right onto the main part of the house, on this side. And that's pretty much all I want. I mean, maybe you also gave me windows, so I could have circle windows, or add a window over here, you know? Because I like that idea. I know they're adding in others, but I just want to customize it. Because, like, if I like the colors of one house, but the layout of another house, then how am I supposed to choose which house? And I think that'll make our world so much more different. So, like, everybody's not making the same world, pretty much. I think that would be a lot of fun to be able to customize the outside of the house. And like I said, it wouldn't really affect gameplay or anything. They just have, I mean, it would show up somehow on the map. And I know that's a lot of work. That's like a big task. So it's okay if you don't see that for a long time, if ever. But so then, after you've done that, of course, after you've built your house, you have to go in and, you know, design the house. So I want to show y'all some other ideas I had. Or some more ideas I had. So, starting off, right here. Placing our furniture, things like that. I want there to be another menu, like right here, and it would pretty much match. You know what? Why am I even doing it that way? I want it to be this paintbrush again. Yep, the paintbrush is coming back. It's gonna chill right there. It's gonna be part of that menu. And so then, let me just like color this in real quick so that y'all can know what the paintbrush menu would look like. So if I just color this in. I'm sorry, you guys. There we go. So in this paintbrush menu now, we'd have like little patterns. So just like some little fabric swatch looking things like that. It could also just be a square. Doesn't have to be fancy. And then in here, we'd have options. We might have just a solid color. We might have polka dots. We might have fruit. There'd be a bunch of different patterns that Toca would design. And then I'd be able to drag this somewhere over here. There's a couple different ways I want to be able to do this. Like, I want to be able to drag this to the fridge. And now maybe polka dots wouldn't work on the fridge necessarily. Maybe it would only be solid color. But when I did that, like this part of the fridge right here, because it doesn't have to be overly complicated, just part of it, would then become polka dotted. Or I could drag it to the sink situation. And maybe just the cabinet or just this counter space would become polka dotted. Just like if I dragged like the solid color over to the table, maybe the whole table became blue because the whole table is kind of solid colored now. Anyway, I also want the option to be able to drag this or some of these onto the walls. I think that would be so cool. So instead of having green and brown walls to work with, I could have all blue walls. Like my entire house could have blue walls, all pink walls, or something like that. I think that would be so much fun. And again, just make things different for each player. And a lot easier to maybe make your own house in Toca. I know that's like a really fun feature with Sims. And in Toca, it's always fun to kind of make yourself, your friends, your family, all of that. So now, going from all that, another thing which would add to the customization of a house would be, so right here, I'm like at this very side of the house, as you can tell by that window, there'd be 1, maybe 2 more buttons. So I'm not trying to give y'all too many buttons. But in these buttons, a button, we would find like a plus sign, or a minus sign. That would let us give or take the different rooms. I think that would be so cool. And like, we wouldn't be able to customize the size of the room or whatever. Maybe it's just programmed in that like this 5th room of a house is so big. Maybe all the rooms are the same size, like something kind of like this room is. But yeah, and you couldn't do like unlimited. Maybe like 5 to 10 would be the max. Because I think about 5 or 6 is like the best simple kind of place. Because that'll allow like 2 bedrooms, bathroom, kitchen, living room, dining room, stuff like that. But it would be cool because then you could have a lot of rooms for a big family or just like 1 or 2 rooms for like a really small family or a college student or whatever it is. So that's another feature that I think would be really cool. And now the last feature I want, the last 2 features I want, technically, I apologize, kind of bad communication there. So one of these features is the ability to move this window, or any windows, all windows in general. I'm using this one as my example. So, I would like to move the window just around the wall. Again, doesn't have, what? I'm on the wrong layer again. Doesn't have to be anything complicated. I just want to be able to like slide it over. Maybe lift it up or down, but mainly just slide it over. Because with this very specific bathroom layout that I was working on, I want the window here and the mirror over here. But I can't do that. So that's one of the big features I would definitely love to see. And then the last thing, let's drop in a sink right there. Let's grab said sink. So normally the sink, well, not normally, but in my bathroom, for the one I was designing, that's where the sink is. Now I want the option to be able to rotate items. I know that sounds crazy. Probably does. But right now, the way the items are, all of them sit against that back wall. Yet we have these side walls. And it's pretty annoying because the beds sit against the side walls. But in some of the rooms, they don't match up to the wall. And that's actually really, really annoying. And they're stuck to only the wall on this side. So in that other bedroom, the wall is on this side. And by other bedroom, I mean this one. This is the wall. And it doesn't match up to that wall. You can't flip it to go on that wall. And I think one of the beds, I had trouble matching up to that wall. So, that's why I want the option to rotate items. And it doesn't have to be anything complicated. It could just be tapping on an item does it. Could be maybe there's a little menu that pops up or something. You know, maybe when you tap an item, you get the rotate option, and you get the pattern option or something like that. Because patterns don't have to be up here. They can be somewhere else. And that's just what I had in mind. So, pretty much, I just want to be able to flip it. And this is actually a really bad example. But I think somebody can get the idea that, yeah, see, I want to be able to put it on this wall. Instead of having to put it on the other walls. That's all I want. I want to be able to put things on the walls that I haven't been given. So, yeah, that's my opinion on Home Designer. That's some of the features that I would love to see that hasn't been suggested yet by Toca themselves. And, I mean, I'm not saying that some of these items don't have patterns on them. There's just currently, at the moment, only so much. I mean, for all I know, maybe that's what's going to become the patterns. We don't know yet. But in case Toca wasn't working on that, that's something I would love to see. Like I said, there's also no sign of the rotation and whatnot. So, yeah. Obviously, like I said, there's signs of more furniture and houses and buildings and things like that, which is super, super cool. But here's some other features that I would love to see added in. And if y'all agree with me, please give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to share it, tag Toca in it, and comment down below what features you would like to see. And subscribe to become a Freaky 5 Zillion. I love you guys. Bye!